No.
Okay. Welcome, everyone, to the Spiritus Society of Washington, D.C. I don't get to say that too often.
No.
And on this beautiful sunny day. And this message is from Happy Life, from the Spirit Joanna DeAngelis, who devolved it from grant others the same rights and favors that you expect from them. Selfishness is a disease that poisons the soul. The person next to you yearns for freedom, just as you do. Remember to never thwart someone else's opportunity. Learn to share of what you have received. I know the message always seems to be so very appropriate for today. And in our society, slowly learn to share. As we all know, it's a gradual process, but we are making progress. Thank God.
It's perfect. So Carol got the ball. The ball. Now it's on you, Carol, to say the prayer, please. Okay? It's like a game. Whoever gets the ball has to do something.
Thank you for telling us the meaning of this. Beloved Mother, Father God, we thank you for the sun of your love that constantly shines upon us. There's no place on earth where you are not. So all places, all hearts, all beings are enlightened by your love. We thank you for the rays of compassion, kindness, understanding, divine hope that you constantly shine upon us. And we pray, visualizing Master Jesus, so that the warmth of your Son of love shines upon the city of Washington, D.C., blessing everyone in both realms, bringing shelter to the unsheltered in the beautiful walls of your kindness, bringing hope to those who are incarcerated, either physically, emotionally, or spiritually, bringing renewal to those who do not see a way. With you, dear God, all is possible. This is why, trusting in you, we also pray for those who are in positions of temporary power. We pray so that the light of your love shines upon them, inspiring them to direct the resources you granted them towards the general good. We visualize Master Jesus at the White House, the angels of compassion enveloping everyone, and we visualize the light of your love forming bridges of hope, kindness, and togetherness from the United States of America, the brain of the world, towards all nations. And we visualize the day when we will make the decision automatically to love more than to be loved, to understand more than to be understood, and to give more than to receive. Thank you, God, for sending us Master Jesus as our model and guide. Thanking you for the Spiritus Society of Washington, D.C., this beacon of your presence on earth. We now trust in your guidance ask you for your loving permission to begin our study session of this morning. And so be it.
So be it.
Okay, guys. Check it out, okay? Because our friends from Ireland, they want to know about this. You're like, oh, how can we watch it? So today, I won't forget the tripod. So as we're studying the book, right? Thought in Life, which was written by Emilio in 1958. Imagine that the same year André Luiz wrote the book Evolution into Worlds. How did Chico Xavier do this? It's a phenomenon. And this book specifically is guidelines for regeneration. And we know that to evolve, we will regenerate ourselves. Some will go voluntarily, others will be pushed, right? Life is showing to us that our planet Earth is changing. More and more people are choosing the good. More and more people are saying we're tired of this old way of living and being that really is not kind, it's not loving. People now more and more are willing to live a better life. And the latest findings tell that the pace of life needs to be changed. This rush, going from A to B point and doing stuff is not healthy for us. The more we learn to pace ourselves out, and more thinkers, researchers are identifying that learning to stop is so important. And I remember once talking to a very wise physician, Peter Hindenburger, a Swiss American physician who lives in Baltimore. He once said, Vanessa, health cannot be sustained in a chaotic rhythm. Just so you know that health is only sustained in a very rhythmic life. And for me to fixate the message, he said, here's the lyrics of the song for you. Row, row, your boat. And then he started singing to me. He said, you need to live your life like this. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 merrily. Life is just a dream. What a physician. That's the future of physicians. You sit down, you talk, and they recommend to you not a bottle, a prescription, but they recommend a lifestyle. And that's why now we have lifestyle medicine, which is a new field, and hopefully universities are opening themselves up to include in their curriculum this new paradigm. So Emmanuel goes even further. He not only talks about health as a byproduct of our lifestyle here, but a mental mindset that we're going to carry for immortality. So we're going to have a few reflections based on his saying, because he says to regenerate ourselves, we need to be the physicians of our lives. So if we're still in that childish mode, like, I don't know how to care for myself. Oh, somebody has to tell me how. At this day and age of social media, we have no excuse whatsoever.
That's for sure.
Because we are in our bodies and we feel, and it's like a thermometer buzzing in and saying something is off. And I can't go to the physician and say, oh, this is off. I say, oh, but we did all the tests and didn't find anything. Keep investigating. Not necessarily to find illness, but go to other doctors, complementary doctors that will probably tell us that it's not even in the body, it's in the mind, it's in the emotional part of us. And if we fix that, health is going to respond. It's going to come true. So Emmanuel is going to tell us, we need this, or we need this, maybe. Yes.
Hey,
Before we go to Emmanuel, let me share something with you. Many studies, including studies by Dr. Robert Adler at the University of Rochester, say that chronic negative emotional states, like stress, anger, hostility, anxiety, increase inflammation in the body and suppress immune function. The question is, are we aware of those emotional states in us? Because sometimes we feel them, but we don't even notice. Can we easily name our emotions? Emotional intelligence is key for health. What am I feeling now? Can I name it? Put a name to that emotion. If I can't, there are dictionaries of emotions online that we can learn names of emotions, and the more literate we are in terms of identifying emotions, the more we can manage ourselves. It's not only about happiness and sadness, and it's about more than 150 emotions. More than 150. And we are not going to evolve. Think about Jesus, the model for us. He could name his emotions and our emotions to precision. And we need to teach our kids to know what they're feeling so they master it and they are not going to be sabotaging themselves because they don't know and they attract situations without noticing. Oh, I got involved with this person. I didn't notice that I was feeling like this void inside of me, right? And then I attracted this person because of this void feeling. Or because I wanted somebody just like my father or my mother, and I didn't notice that I had something to resolve. Then you go through a whole marriage just to discover that. So, physically speaking, this is all about physical in his case. It changes how the physiology goes by and it affects our immunity, and thus we get sick. So our emotions can either raise ourselves to health or make us sick. For example, if you go to psychosomatics, many studies already point out, I read that paper, one of the first papers pointing out that lower back pain has to do, is correlated, associated with lack of forgiveness, resentment.
Lack of what?
Forgiveness. No wonder these problems happen when we're older. Because when we're young, we never hear like, oh, I have lower back pain. But over the years, we accumulate, and we don't even notice that we are resented. But let's talk about resentment. Resentment is when you feel it again. That's why it says resent. You feel it again. You keep feeling it again and again and again. What happened to us? So, oh, but I'm not thinking about that. It doesn't matter if we are thinking about this now. If I archive that emotion inside of me as such, oh, that person did this to me, and I leave it there, it has its own vibration that keeps happening and happening and happening. And even psychology says it's a constant present. We're never past, present, future. So what happened in our childhood is happening now. If we don't learn how to organize our emotions and re-edit emotionally what happened, we're going to be victims of our own interpretation of the situation, and we're going to keep that story happening as we speak, though the physical body is the adult physical body. So if when I was a young child, I saw my mom being, let's say, the father cheated on my mom, and I saw how sad she was, and I felt her hopelessness, her helplessness, and then it affected me. If I don't learn to revisit the scenario and re-edit, I will grow up as an adult, and I will try to live relationships that will just mimic the same. Because I didn't seek the good in the relationship. See, this chapter comes in the book after chapter 10, when he says to regenerate, we need understanding. So if I go back, but Vanessa, how do I re-archive this situation that happened with my parents? Well, bring the new cameras in. Who were they connected to? Certainly obsessors, huh? So they are not victims, because now they are suffering the influence of those whom they hurt. So instead of looking at either my mom or my dad as either the perpetrators or the victims, I'm going to say everybody has a role, and they were influenced by others and being influenced, and they are influencing as well. So then I look at them as people who, just like us, were trying their best. And in the equation of life, that was the end result of what they did with the factors of life. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to say I'm justifying this part or the other, but I'm going to understand like Jesus did when Jesus was betrayed by one of his disciples. Did he feel betrayed? No. But how come? He betrayed you. No, he didn't. That's the way he understood the scenario. In Judas' vision, he couldn't grasp the greatness of the Christ, of his plan. He thought he was going to help that vanity inside of him, destroyed his life. So Jesus saw somebody who fell short because of his short-sightedness. The same for the family setting that we're talking about. In that family setting, when we look at the camera of previous lives, of spiritual influence, of current scenarios, the pressures of the current times, then we understand why this parent did this, that parent did that, and why we also were in the picture, suffering the consequences because of our other factors too. So then, I'm not a victim. My parents are not a victim. Nobody's a victim. Everybody's responsible for what's happening. Then I empower myself as the inner child to know that I was going through what I needed to never forget that this is a normal, that I shall never do this to others. So you see how we forget the wrongdoings? We stop resenting because we gave everything a new meaning. It's no longer the victimization camera saying, oh, this person did this to me. Or I experienced that as if I have no role in it. And then I understand that it was a needed scenario for my growth and that I have a big part on it. Because if I suffered it, I have a big part. And that's why family constellation, right? So powerful. Telling us never to think we're bigger than our parents. Because if we do that, right?
Yes.
What do they say, Karen?
They say that we destroy the family dynamics.
Right?
Because we think that we are better than our parents, and it's literally arrogance somehow. And instead of helping, we are destroying the dynamic.
Because of our pride,
Dynamic because of our pride, arrogance, thinking that we are bigger than the ones who gave us life.
What a message. So this is part of our health. And then Emmanuel is going to tell us much more. He begins by saying that health begins in our minds, in our thought. It begins right there. So what's happening in our thoughts, friends? Scale 0 to 10. Let's see. 0 to 10. 0 being negative, 10 positive. Where have we been with our minds, our thought processing? More to 0 or more to 10? Give yourself a number. You don't need to say it out loud. But register and check in 1 week to see if we are progressing to a more positive thing. Because Dr. Martin Seligman at Penn State University, he is the leader scientist in positive psychology, in the science of optimism, and he proved scientifically that we can learn to be optimistic. And optimism is key, foundational for mental health. To feel we're capable, that we can. It may sound funny, but people talking about Bad Bunny, and it's so interesting. I saw him interview yesterday. He said, I don't like these women that do a lot of plastic surgeries and stuff. I like natural people, but I like women who are confident. No matter if they have big breasts, small breasts, if they're confident, I like them. That's what we're talking about. That inner confidence we can build. It's optimism. Inside of us, you have a job. Oh my gosh, can I do it? Why not? Mentor Joseph once told me this. Vanessa, we're all human beings, children of God. The potential is the same for everybody. Some people may have started ahead, others not. But it's just a matter of time. Never think you can't do anything, because it's just a matter of time, effort, repetition. If you apply yourself, you get there. So there is no such thing like, he's a great math student, I'm not. Okay, let's ask him, how many hours do you spend studying math? Oh, you study 15 minutes every day. Oh, that's why you get A plus. Oh, got it. And you, oh, you studied overnight. Okay, so then we get, it's not that he's a better student. He applies himself. The same for all of us in life. Oh, I don't know how to cook. No, you don't want to cook, because if you want to cook, you're going to look at Felipe. Felipe learned to cook like no one.
Still learning with ChatGPT.
Which is
Gotta try, right?
YouTube, ChatGPT. And then
Keep trying.
cook. Yeah, the society of Virginia, Washington, D.C. depend on Felipe's cook. When we do our bake sale, then we learn. So it's a matter of, do I apply myself or not? Some people say, oh, I can't run. But do you try? No, you don't. So that's the point. But if you apply yourself, you can run. I don't know how to write, but do you even attempt to pick up a pen, right? So it's a matter of, we apply ourselves, and over time things are gonna happen. Sometimes miraculous things that people Don't even imagine. I followed this woman when she was 70 years old. She was taking 8 medications.
Oh.
And she was high blood pressure, diabetes, everything else. And the doctor said, if you keep this way, I don't need you much longer. And then her daughter was a physical, like a personal trainer. And I said, Mom, I can help you if you accept my guidance. And you see the videos of when she started, it was so hard. Now, 10 years later, Joanne is a personal trainer. She's a brand. Train with Joanne. If you see her, she looks better now at 80 than when she was 70. She's healthier, she's happier, but she accepted the discipline of cutting a lot of foods that are not helpful and training every day. It started in the mind. She had to accept the invitation. I want to be healthy. Do we want to be healthy? Because sometimes we want to be like we were 500 years ago. No, I'm not kidding. How often we just want to rewind the tape and go back to that life? Oh, because there I had everything. I didn't need to do anything. But in this life, we have to make it happen. We asked for it. And there are people who sleep, and André Luiz says in his books, they go right back to the scenarios of previous lives, meeting the people, and then wake up. When we wake up, we feel like this longing. Everything is beautiful, but we don't see it because we're stuck in the previous life. Connected to other minds who also need, probably are living in other continents, so they can boost their lives too, and one day we meet again, but not in this life. And instead of saying to each other, go ahead, you there, I'm here, we meet and say, oh, I miss you, I miss you, I miss you every month. Oh, how I wish we were together. Can't be together in this life, because if you are together, you're not going to progress. So you have to be apart, meet other people, learn to love more people, learn to love and not convenience love, and go ahead. So it begins in the mind, and Emmanuel is going to tell us health is the harmony of the spirit. So health is not about the physical body. You're going to find many people who go to the doctor, the numbers are perfect, but their mindset is so negative, and their lifestyle is chaos, and they don't help anybody. On the contrary, they create problems for people. Look at our jail, we'll see how many troublemakers we have, but there are many who are on the loose, right? So it's about the harmony of the spirit. And the question for us is this, because what does harmony mean to us? What does harmony mean? Anybody?
You get along, no matter who it is or what it is. You meld and you accept that particular person. You enjoy that being with that particular person. You enjoy doing that particular hobby. Like now enjoys cookies. Okay. That's how you like we always talk about washing dishes in a meditative state, right? And washing dishes is one of my favorite things to do. So and cleaning. So is there it also cleanliness is next to godliness.
Right. So, but what about harmony when we are by ourselves? What would that mean?
In unison
With
with mind, with yourself, and the will of God.
okay. Let's keep talking about this. When do you feel internally balanced? When? You know when? You need to think about this. When there is this inner balance. Because sometimes there's so much guilt
When you are happy
when you.
and no problem.
Is that right? So we're never gonna reach it.
Yes, it is. Who doesn't have
Because
problems?
problems are the solutions.
That means that you can tackle those problems. So you are balanced.
Look at the students in school. For them, a test is a problem.
Yeah.
For the teacher, the test is a solution. From the teacher perspective, the test is saying, I need to know how much you learned what I taught. It's a solution. For the student, it's a problem. So, what is actually a problem? The problem for the teacher is when the student does not do well in the test. So, it's a point of view. God is always going to give us tests and challenges because resistance training is the only way to grow muscle. We have to push. Some people think that resistance training is about picking up weight and working on it, but this new trend, calisthenics, talk about just the weight of your body being enough for you to push your muscles to another level. We're not talking about growing muscles like Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? For that, you really need much more than this. But to grow strength in the muscle in order to be healthy. But in life, we won't grow muscle if everything is a breeze. It has to be challenging. It has to defy our inner gravity, our state of inertia. Oh, I want to stay this way without saying, I'm going to change everything. And we reincarnate. Everything is anew. Everything. And we're like, oh my gosh, it takes so long for us to reach this level, but then we have to begin again. So it's good to learn to be in that renewal mode, no matter the age we have, huh? To learn to change things in our home. You know, let go in such a way. They say that people who move to different homes often, they have an easier time letting go. And that's the danger of living in the same house our whole lives. The day you discarnate, you have a hard time letting go. So the best way is to start letting go of those particular objects when you're still here, even without a particular need. Like, for example, look at that. Okay, there is a historic point in there. But let's say this is in my house. And then I look and say, what's that? Is my house a museum now? Because some people treat their homes like a museum.
Yeah.
They put decorations as if like they have, and it's occupying space. And to think in chapter 26 of the book In the Domains of Mediumship, and André Louis says that every object we own is connected fluidically to us. So if we own a lot of stuff, we are so anchored here that it's going to be harder to discarnate. Very hard. So then I would look at it and say, you know what? I'm going to donate to a museum, to an actual museum. Because my house is not a museum. Huh? Think about it. Either we do it voluntarily or we are going to be forced by the day we die.
And in chapter 25 of In the Realms of Mediumship, we learned that there was a spirit who was connected to a mirror for centuries. because she couldn't let go of the emotional value of that object. And so when people went to the museum to see the mirror, she would vibrationally push them away and still think that that object was hers.
Wow. Next time we go to a museum, I have to pray. Pray
That's
that the good spirits come and rescue those who are stuck, right?
I would imagine there's a lot of that here on,
Right?
good spirit.
But our homes may become true museums. And that's so creepy. Because God is saying life only goes forward if we renew ourselves. And then we tend to maintain, no, I like this chair, I'm gonna keep this chair for 50 years. Oh my Lord. So now the chair is named Vanessa. It's part of Vanessa. Connected, huh? Please take this chair to somebody because I don't need a chair anymore. Because the day we're not here, not needed anymore. If you use it, you keep it. But just out of memory, it becomes a museum. That's dangerous. Mentor Joseph, before when we were during the pandemic, he said, take advantage of the pandemic and get the team to really organize every corner of the center to the point that you know exactly what it is in every corner. And you see that when we come back, the center is going to be so crowded, and that's what we're experiencing. Because sometimes the energy field makes our lives stuck. There's something. There was a girl I met. She separated from her former fiance, and then she kept a few objects, and she couldn't let go of the emotions year after year. And then I said, you still keep stuff? Yes, I do. If you don't get rid of it. It's science, this is not superstition, it's science. In psychology, we learn stimulus, response. That's how we work. You show meat to a dog, you ring a bell. Next time you ring a bell, show the meat. You ring a bell without showing the meat, they salivate. So Pavlov is a physician. He learned one of these fascinating mechanisms in our physiology, that we can be conditioned by stimuli. One stimulus eliciting a response, and whatever is associated with that stimulus will elicit the same response. So if I say, chair, Jesus, chair, Jesus, chair, Jesus, chair,
Jesus.
and the feeling that comes with it. It's association, and then the conditioning comes. So if I get rid of that stimulus, I stop the response. I can counter condition myself. And that's why reincarnation is so powerful. Because you change the stimuli, you learn new things, you counter condition yourself, you progress. Right? So Emmanuel keeps telling us the spiritist view of health. He's going to tell us that health is not merely the absence of illness. We'll see Chico Xavier. He had so many physical problems, but he was one of the healthiest people in this planet.
And happiest.
And happy. Because he had a physical ailment, but that didn't make him feel emotionally less, socially less, or even physically less. He overcame the obstacles and understood that that was a drainage. We're going to talk about this soon. Emmanuel says that health is a vibrational balance. And he's going to say, as Narcissa said at the beginning, it's an alignment between spirit, perispirit, and the physical body. So when we can get those alignments, okay? mind and bodies, physical or spiritual. That's why when we treat our health, we cannot treat only with traditional doctors. Because then you're treating only the physical, which is the consequence. We need to find a network of therapists that can help us out. Mind and bodies. So acupuncture is for the perispirit. Emmanuel says in the book, The Consoler, that acupuncture is a true surgery in our perispirit, which is the bypass of the physical body. We see, for example, homeopathy also treating the perispirit and the layers of the emotional body as well. Right? Yoga as means to unite and align mind and bodies as well. That's why there is yoga therapy. And there is this ancient, beautiful physical practices that help this alignment. Tai Chi, Qigong, which are physical movements with breath that help us realign mind and bodies and learn to stay in the present as well. So we see practices like psychotherapy, treating thought patterns. So, since thought is the creative force, Emmanuel is going to tell that thought is the living energy. Repeated emotions shape our spiritual field, and the body responds to that persistent mental pattern. So that's why in the Spirit's book, they say that to progress, we need to learn who we are. Because we say, why is this happening? I don't know why I am. Because if I knew, I would know why. Why am I experiencing this? Because I am this way. And if I don't learn that, I won't change this. So that's why good psychotherapy is good to know who we truly are. But for that, we need courage. Because sometimes we prefer not to see. And that's why in psychosomatics you say, if you don't want to listen to people, over time you're going to become deaf. Because you don't want to listen to people. And Miss Hay used to say, do you enjoy listening to me? Because if I don't, I'll lose that ability. It's not because of age. It's because I don't want to listen. Or I don't want to see. And then my eyesight, my vision changes. Because I don't want to see. I don't want to see things near. It's too scary. So I can retrain my mind to say, no, I'll seek the good. If I seek the good in every situation, my body is going to be open to receive the stimulus without shutting down. Makes sense?
I know a person who's, because the female had a lot of kids, and it was like she could shut herself off from hearing children. And I guess it precipitated to the point where as she got older, her hearing decreased.
Decreased. I know some people too, whose hearing decreased because they don't want to listen, they just want to be there with. We're just giving an example, could be anything. But we can change that. There are therapists saying you can change this impairment by changing the way we feel, by changing the way we think. And that's why Emmanuel is giving to us the understanding that each one of us, each individual builds their own health or illness through the vibrations they emit. But remember, it's not only about this life, it's about many lives. Sometimes God is so good, He's saying, I'm going to allow you to drain that vibrational disturbance in this life because now you can handle it. Thank you. What a gift. Because when the physical body is flushing out that disharmony that I created, my perispirit is shaping itself back to health. And immortally speaking, I will be more harmonious. And that's why science says that persistent emotional states may alter our brain chemistry, may influence our hormonal balance, may affect immune response and impact our physical health as well. So our emotional life is central stage. We need to observe it. And therapists say writing down what we think and feel can be deeply empowering. Sometimes we are afraid of doing this because we don't want to see what we're feeling. But you just write down, close it. Don't need to read it. Write down, close it. Write down when you feel like it, pray, and allow the good spirits to come, the true therapists. And say, you see, there's a pattern here, but we can change it. Because sometimes we don't even observe. Some people say, I'm not a jealous person. Okay. So when somebody is doing well in something, how do you think? Are you happy for them? Oh, I immediately think, why this doesn't happen to me? That's just oh, I wish it happened to me. These are jealous thoughts. So we are more jealous than we imagine. We can't even listen to somebody talk about their flu week. I got so sick. And then you say, oh, me too. But why do we have to compare all the time? Those who live in those comparisons are the jealous types, are the envious types, and we're never going to progress if we keep this way. So we need to shift it. And then usually we project our jealousy and think people are going to feel jealous of me because I recognize jealousy by how I feel. And that's human for all of us on earth. We're still at that level. So these can affect our health. And the question is, what kinds of vibrations am I cultivating lately? Because if I wake up feeling like, oh my gosh, I have all these things to do at 6 a.m. Oh my gosh, I have all these things to do. How am I going to do this? I'm not passing the test because the test is not to do the things, but it's about how I do the things. It's not about going to work, doing the laundry, writing a paper, helping this person. It's about how I do those things. If I do it with trust, if I enjoy the moment everywhere. So I'm here now, like Divaldo Franco. Think about it. How did Divaldo Franco did what he did? He would be here today, tomorrow in Boston, the next day in New York, and then in New Jersey, and then in San Francisco, and then in Los Angeles, and then in San Diego, and then he would go.
You go to Europe too.
And then he would go to Europe, and then to Brazil. And then I asked him, how do you do this? And he said,
At his age.
yeah. And he said, and not being stressed out, like, oh my gosh. And he said, I learned with Joanna de Angelis to be here now. So if I'm here now, Vanessa, I don't think about what I'm gonna do next. I'm here. When I finish the talk, go to sleep. I recharge myself and then I start preparing for the next one. But if he would finish an event, sit down and talk until sometimes 1 a.m., knowing that at 6 a.m. he had to be up for the plane in the airport to travel somewhere else. And he was always there in that discipline. How did he succeed for decades? Because he was mindful. The present was the most important.
There is a saying, you become what you think.
Exactly. And he
And
was
he
always,
says
Mm.
that what kind of vibration we just read these days. It even says you can heal yourself.
You can heal your life. There's a book. Exactly. And she healed herself from cancer. So illness also is not a punishment, it's an imbalance, because almost 99.9999% of the people, when they get sick, they feel so ashamed. Oh, I'm so weak, I'm being punished, because that's how I thought in previous lives. Read the Millionaire's books. Historically, if you go to Africa today and you have a kid who has a disability, some tribes and villages are going to push you away saying that you're cursed. And there are people who feel this way. I don't know how I got. Thank you, flu. You are allowing this energy that is not good to come out. Thank you, body, for being so kind and draining it out. Because it's a gift that this imbalance is being flushed out. When it comes to the body, it's spirit drainage. Who says that? Not only Emmanuel. André Luiz in the book Evolution in Two Worlds, chapter 19, part 2. He says, when we make a mistake, which is a vibratory imbalance, we create a vibratory knot in our spiritual body, the perispirit, that is only going to be flushed out when either we love or we reincarnate to drain in illnesses. So we need to love faster.
But he's right.
Right?
Love your illness.
Right? Love it and say thank you and learn to talk to the physical body as well. Illness is always a warning from nature regarding the improper use of our mental forces. And that's why he says, these are the things we can do daily that can help us. Mental vigilance, Jesus said, watch and pray. What am I feeling? What am I thinking? Forgive yourself, forgive others, be grateful always, and emotional discipline. So things that we know we should do and we could do for our own good, being positive always, looking for the good always, seeking the good, feeling the good. And thought is a living force everywhere, generating forms and creating destinies. What thought pattern do I need to transform? If we could elect one, let's aim at it and change. Sometimes writing down, 1,000,000 times writing down. I am worthy of love. 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 I am. And then it becomes, it sticks to the mind. And you start changing the vibration. We're going to attract different relationships because we transform the way we're thinking, the way we're feeling. And finally, he says, take responsibility without guilt, because some people go to his Facebook, read the pattern, and they feel guilty. Oh, that's not why it's there. It's just say, you can change that. We created that out of 10,000 lives experience. But now I want to change. I no longer want to experience this. So I take ownership of my mind, of my feelings. Let go of this guilt, because guilt is the godson of pride. When we feel guilt, Emmanuel says in this book, we'll see in the future, that guilt is the byproduct of pride. Because when we're humble, guilt disappears. Look at Saul of Tarsus turning into Paul of Tarsus. He didn't get stuck in guilt. Nobody has ever heard that Saul of Tarsus was like, oh, who am I? I'm not worthy of this friendship with you guys after everything I've done. He didn't hid himself. He didn't do what Judas did, kill himself. He humbled himself and said, yeah, made a mistake. I want to do it different. It wasn't easy. It took him 30 years to really shift completely. And then he ascended directly to the Christ. 30 years. Think about it. We can do it in this life if we want. But for that, we're going to have to let go. The mind remains, see, it's like a noun maybe.
I don't know.
Oh, maybe a noun,
Yes.
right?
No crazy person.
I think it's a dog.
Or dog barking.
Yeah.
See,
Crying.
Crying without crying.
we pray for the dog. The right time to fix this, to focus on this. The mind remains at the foundation of our health, of all the phenomena of life. Have you guys ever visualized yourself as light? I'm serious. In the Spirit's book, Kardec asks, what's the definition of spirit? What is a spirit? And then they say, for lack of better words, let's say it's like a flame. So next time we look at ourselves in the mirror, we need to see light.
Yeah,
Visualize ourselves as light.
in our lesson last night, Cecilia when we praised, the lights or even Alexander.
Right?
Start the
In the shadows of the light.
spark of light.
Thank you for the remembrance. So beautiful, because we're light.
Yeah, I like to do the intelligent sleep so I can attend to the
The reading the spiritual realm. There you go, Narcissus. There you go. Thank you for that reminder. So next time we think of ourselves, let's feel ourselves as light. When we finalize today, let's visualize that. Okay? And the practical application. Okay. What to do? Do the good. That's it. Think the good, feel the good, visualize the good, mold the good with all the resources we have at hand. Health. Okay? So we're building it. Not building for this life, it's for immortality. Of course, life is going to end when the body stops, so it has to stop, oh well. But we can stop with kindness, right? With gentleness, with love. It doesn't need to be something so abrupt.
Vanessa, in the book In the Greater World by André Lewis, he shows many cases of spirits who are in the process of discarnating, preparing to discarnate. And there's one case which stood out to me when I read it, where the spirit is so the discarnating spirit is so used to doing the good and thinking of others that when Bezerra de Menezes, who is there to help with the discarnation process, calls him, he detaches himself from his physical body and he looks at the physical body and he says a prayer to thank the physical body, and then he he helps the people who are there around the body, and then he goes to his work, spiritist work, and inspires people. And then he goes with Menezes to the spiritual realm. It's so beautiful to see that the discarnating spirit can help with the discarnation process.
But that takes emotional maturity.
Yes, for sure.
Okay?
Yes.
And it's a good reminder, Carolyn, to us, because to reach that level, we need to be emotionally mature. Because when we're expecting others to figure out our lives, when we discarnate, we're still going to be in that position. To be in that ownership, we need to show in our everyday life. Every day. That emotional ownership. Doing the good so we reach balance, harmony. And this is how we want to end. Since this week, we want to acknowledge that these friends of ours who were walking in our country for days, weeks, 2,300 miles, just to remind us, walk for peace. And they are coming, they don't want to preach. They said, we just want people to think about peace. These are Christ sent beings who, can you imagine walking? One of them had a dog and walked with a dog. And this one, in the final day in DC, he said, when you wake up, instead of picking up the phone and scrolling down, stand up, make up her bed nice and neat
Before anything.
before anything else. And it organizes your mind when you do it. You organize with the intention for us spiritists. I'll be back tonight if God wants. And here I'll go back to the spiritual realm to keep learning. And go to the bathroom, he says. Do what you gotta do. Come back and write down in a piece of paper, I am living a peaceful life today. Put that intention in paper every day, even if you memorized it, he said. And make sure. So I already have a notebook just for that. Writing every day. 2, train the mind, because these guys are good at mind training. Exactly what Emmanuel's saying. Starts in the mind. The day starts in the mind. It doesn't start like, oh my gosh, we're late. Oh my gosh, we have to go places. It starts right here. I know I'm gonna get there. Wait, one step at a time. One step at a time. Not like, oh my gosh, how am I gonna do this? How am I gonna do this? How am I gonna do this? Every day the person is like this.
I was like that this morning.
You were Narcissus.
I used to take the metro to come here. But my wife said that, oh, it's Valentine today, though, are we not supposed to have a celebration? And then he was calling our children where to go. And around 10 o'clock, they're not responding. So he said, okay, you just go celebrate after you come back. And I'm already late for the train. So can I take the car? And he said, yeah, take the car. And then when I was rushing, was about to leave, and there's a car in front of me. Oh my goodness, so terrible. And then I was honking. I didn't know that was the president of the Congress
Oh.
for the association, so I don't know what happened. It might get mad to me.
We're gonna pray, Narciso, don't worry. We're gonna pray that everything's gonna
Now he's not even breaking his own rules. And break one time, one bad time, and then he's not sleeping. He just his wife just get off the car. I thought it's an Uber driver. So I knocked again. He's in front of me, and I oh, he's not leaving. Maybe because he's the president of the association, so he must be. Who are you? So I oh straight. Oh, let me take down. What's the deal? Well, I just say, oh, thank you. Yeah, I realized, it looks like the president of the association.
There you go.
Yeah, I made it.
You can tell him, I was late for a meeting.
You can tell him, don't do it
I'm
again.
sorry.
Don't put the car in front of me.
Yeah. And then you bring him some Brazilian brigadeiro, so everything's gonna be fine.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
sure.
next time you do big sale, why you do that.
Give him a little fun.
And then next time they see you, they're gonna run away fast. Yeah. But this is an exception, right? The problem is when we wake up every day and we forget that we set the tone for the rest of the day and are experiencing the afterlife. I mean, our spiritual experience during the night also dictates how we're going to succeed the next day. We wake up feeling refreshed, it's a sign that we did something good. Otherwise, we have to pray to rebalance ourselves. The good spirits always come, as you said, but it begins in the mind. In this beautiful city of Washington, D.C., the message is already set. Thousands of people were there listening to them, just sharing. They were just sharing an experience and inviting all of us in the nation to build a peaceful life. That's all we want.
And Vanessa, did you know that one of the monks had a serious accident? Had his legs amputated?
No, why?
Yes, just at the beginning of the walk. But then he went to the hospital, everything, and he came back to DC in a wheelchair to take part in the final celebration.
Oh my God, that's incredible.
And one of the monks.
Oh my gosh.
He didn't give up. He said he wanted to be here.
Incredible.
Wow.
It's
So
incredible. See, we are flashlight stimulating each other. So we're now going to visualize ourselves as light, as God created us, and create that mindset. I am living a peaceful life. With myself, with everyone, with all my memories too, pacifying with my memories, understanding and rebalancing ourselves. And let's prepare for the passage too, okay? So we're gonna put some music just to help us out. For those who are watching us, we're gonna say goodbye and see you tomorrow at the Spirit Side of Virginia.